right, good afternoon, I think it is by now.
Yes.
Everyone, welcome back to this room. I think some of you have already been here for a little while. My name is Cristina Heta. I'm one of the instructors for Rutgers University. And on my rest of my time, I actually run an HR consulting company. And that's where I spend the majority of my time and what I love to do. I work with managers of people and I guide them in how to resolve issues that they have. Most of my clients are small business owners, so they need a lot of help. And that's why I actually partner with Rutgers, because I get to do in a big group, instruct and facilitate programs that have to do with HR and with soft skills, which is what I do. And this is one of my favorites. I designed this one. It has gone really well, conflict management. And who cannot relate to conflict, right? So let's get started with it. If you actually think about the word conflict, just say out loud a few words that come to mind when you think of conflict.
Stress.
I heard stress. What else? Frustration, stress. Negative. Stress, frustration, negative. Yeah. Is that what everybody thinks? Those are all in the negative sense, right? These words come to mind. Now, if I ask you to think about the word one more time and think about, does anybody else in particular, a person, come to mind, and don't say their name, please. But think about it. When you say the word conflict, who comes to your mind? Okay, let's all think about that. Okay, I got it. I know who that is. Interesting, right? What if I ask the same question to somebody else? Would your name come up?
Oh, absolutely.
For somebody? Thank you. Thank you. And that's what it is. It may, right? For somebody, we are the cause of the conflict. We are that person that, oh, interesting. Well, what is really conflict? And how to resolve it? The reality is that conflict is a dispute between individuals that have different opposing ideas or beliefs. That's really what it is. When you don't agree, you don't want the same thing, you don't have the same needs. That's really what conflict is. And conflict comes into our lives whether we want it or we don't want it. It just comes. Sometimes we look for it, but many times we don't want it and it happens. Do you think conflict can always be resolved? No. It can't, not always. But there is one skill that if you perfect it, statistically, you can resolve 95% of conflict. And that skill is self-awareness. So what this program does is that it focuses on building self-awareness of the participant. That's what this program is about. And how we do that, today I'm going to give you a little snippet of it. We will do some of the exercises that we have in the program. And of course, it's a 4-hour program, so you'll get a little taste of it. And in between, I'll talk and I'll tell you what you're missing, of course, because of interest of time. All right? So let's start building a little bit your self-awareness today, perhaps. And so you get a taste of the program. All right, don't they look happy? Okay, why am I putting this slide up if this is about conflict? Well, anybody knows who they are? Any chance? All right, I'll give you a hint. In 1974, these two gentlemen who are named Ken Thomas and Ralph Gilman, now maybe somebody? Ken Thomas and Ralph Gilman came up, they were psychologists, and they study how people resolve conflict. And they came up with a theory and a conflict instrument that is called the Thomas-Gilman instrument. To this day, all those decades later, it's still the best used conflict management instrument in the world, not only in the United States. It's been translated to many languages and everybody uses it. This program uses the conflict management instrument from Thomas Gilman. It's included part of the course. All right? So what we do now is that at this moment in time, all the participants, after I've spoken for a lot longer than this and done some exercises, they take the test, which is a self-assessment. So we're going to pretend that you all took it. That's what we're going to do, all right? Let's just pretend you did your self-assessment. And what it does is basically the way that you approach conflict has to do in how you deal with the people that you're dealing with, how you deal with the problem, the issue in question, how important or less important it is to you, and how you live with the structures around it. You don't handle conflict the same way if you're talking to your spouse that if you're in the corporate environment. Because in the corporate environment or your company, you might have certain policies. So you know that you cannot do that, so you meet them, right? So this triangle of the people that is inside the conflict, the issue in question, and the structures around it is what we play around in determining how we handle conflict. And in the program, what we do is practice how important is dealing with this person versus the other person. And when should I go a little more, a little less into this conflict? Okay. So let's say that you took the assessment. You already took it, all of you. And what happens after you take the assessments, you find out what's your style. And your style of addressing conflict is 1 of 5. Everybody has a dominant style. That's your natural tendency. That does not mean that you don't use the other styles. Certainly, we all blend and flex depending on the situation, but there's one style that is the dominant style. And that's what we focus on. The good thing about learning your style is not only that you're learning about yourself, but it's about learning how to identify that style in others, which is one of the best things about taking this course, is once you know how others address conflict, you can then modify your own style. Okay? So these are the styles. This is a visual picture of them. I'm going to move to the side. The first style is the competing style. You kind of take over. Okay? That's the shark. You act like a shark. You like to take control. All styles are good at any specific point, and they're not good at all points in time. So the idea, there's no bad style. Everybody, so that you know, because I'm about to pick your own styles. I probably need to hear you a little more. But I'm going to pick your styles in a second, so don't feel that the one I pick for you is bad. Okay? No hard feelings. The next one is the turtle. The turtle is the opposite of the competing. You try to avoid conflict. I mean, not everything is conflict. If we can avoid it, it doesn't exist. And avoiding conflict works really well many times too, but sometimes you do need to make a stand, and we will see when. The fox. The fox likes to compromise. That's the compromising. You may not win that conflict, the battle, but you find something that is good enough for you. And when you can live with the good enough, it's great. But what happens if good enough is not good enough? That's what we talk about in the program. The next one is the teddy bear, which is the one that accommodates. Okay, you can do it. It's fine. We can do it your way. That's fine. Yeah, we're both presenting. You want to do it a little more visual. It's fine. It's always fine. And it's fine. It's great to avoid conflict too. It's a step behind avoiding, and it works really well. Other than sometimes the issue is too important to let go. And the last one is the owl. The owl represents collaboration. You have a problem. There's two different parties that want different things. Let's take a step back, analyze it, look at all of our options, and create a creative solution on how to resolve this conflict. Sometimes the solution is not in front of us. And you use this one when you have time. If you have time, why not collaborate always and find the right solution? But sometimes we don't have time. So it sounds great, but sometimes you can't. All right? Okay, so now let's do an exercise. This is the summary of all of them. Competing, one person overpowers or outsmarts to get what he wants. Accommodating, you let the other person have what they want. Avoiding, the turtle, if you can avoid the conflict, that's even better. But nobody really wins in this situation, right? Compromising, which each person gives up something. So sometimes it's a fair situation. And the owl, which is the problem solving. Let's get creative and work together to find a solution that meets the needs of everyone. All right, so let's do an exercise. Let's say that you took the assessment. So what I'm going to do, well, first of all, I will ask for volunteers. And I know you know this world, so I have to have some volunteers to come here with me. If not, I'll have to pick you because we need to finish. Yes. Thank you so much. One, I need two more. Two more. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please. Yes, perfect. Thank you very much. And one more, please. One more. Excellent, excellent. All right. So you're going to go ahead and sit over here. Vicky?
Yes.
You are going to be a shark.
Figures.
Yes.
How did you
And
know?
Diane, thank you very much. Diane, you're going to be a turtle. So while you read the instructions, and you can see they have their sign, so you don't forget who they are. So this is what happens. When we're having a conflict with somebody that we don't know their style, we just care about the three things. We care about people, the issue, or the process. What you want to think about when you're resolving conflict is which one of the three is the one that is really important and has an impact right now. Because many times, what you really care about is maintaining that relationship. So yes, I want to use blue for the font of the next presentation. I think is less bossy than red, and you want to use red, but I care about this working relationship too much, or maybe it's my boss that really wants to say it, and I'm like, oh, and maybe I just go and I use a different style. I don't stand my ground. So what's really important? The person, the issue, or the structure? Think about those three things as we are going to do an exercise right now with them that are nicely volunteered to do the exercise. I'm going to create a conflict, a fake conflict, a very simple conflict. And we're going to see how each of the styles resolve it. The purpose for the exercise is for participants to grasp the conflicts really well with something very simple. Later on, we move to something that has to do with work and is personal, and it hits home a little more. This is more like a fun exercise, very quick exercise. So, all right, so will my shark come with me right here, please? And you can take the paper, given that I gave you no time to read. Okay, should we move over here to stay away from the cameras?
Okay.
So this is what happened. We actually won an award. We won an award.
We did.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
this is awesome. Thank you, everyone. This is great. Thank you, Vicky.
Thank you.
And the award was a very, very hefty, great award. And it came with this New Brunswick Historic Bakery cupcake. This is one of a kind. They only bake it once a year, and it was given to us.
Yes.
It was great.
Wonderful.
But we only got one. And, well, I won it, and I'm sure she wants it too. So let's see how a shark approaches the situation. There's only one, Vicky.
Oh, wow, that's great, but I think I'll take it.
Well, I guess. I mean, okay.
This cupcake wants to be with me.
All right. Well, just go ahead. Take it.
Bye.
All right. Well, pretty much the shark takes over. That's what happens. Vicky, come on, big applause. This is like more impromptu with cameras. It doesn't get any better than this. And you get to keep the cupcake.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I told you there were prizes. All right, all right. And remind me your name?
Diana.
Diana, come over with me. What about the turtle? How would the turtle react to the same situation? Diana, we won. We won. Yes. Okay. What do we do? There's only one cupcake. Okay. And here will be for hours and hours, but she's not going to take it. So we're not going to talk about it because there really is no issue. Right, Diana? Well, here you go, Diana. Thank you very much. And that's what happens really with the turtle. The turtle will avoid the conflict because, and sometimes it's really good, right? At this moment in the real exercise, we go into detail into when you should use these styles and when not, but I'm moving fast because I want to give you a snippet of the exercise. But there's more context, and this exercise takes a lot more time. All right. Vanessa, come with me. Let's see how the owl, what happens when you have a tendency to collaborate? Okay. Well, there's only one cupcake.
Oh, one cupcake and two of us. How do we resolve this? We both deserve it. We both earned it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about we do something? How about we raise money so we can buy another one?
Oh my goodness, that's
Then
a
we
great
both get the
idea.
prize.
But how are we going to do that?
Maybe if we collect some money from our peer volunteers.
Oh my goodness, that's a great idea. Maybe everybody can pitch in. Yes. Or maybe we can create a GoFundMe account and have everybody put a little bit.
Yeah, because we both deserve it.
Exactly. I mean, they voted for us,
Yeah.
so they must want us to have it. I love the idea. This is so creative.
Let's
Thank
do it.
you, Diana. Thank you. Big applause. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you very much, my volunteers. You can go ahead with your happy cupcake.
Thank you.
We put it all together. And everybody should be thinking about a conflict that you have. So I want you to think about a conflict. When was the last time, it could be your spouse this morning, getting out, getting your Starbucks, anything. Anything that didn't go quite right, and you either approached the conflict or didn't, but there was something there. So think about it for a couple of minutes. When was mine? Let me think about mine too. Okay, I'll give you mine. Okay, so you think about one conflict, and what you want to do is navigate through these questions and think about it. Okay, I have my conflict, my situation in mind. How invested in the relationship am I? Okay. How important is this issue to me? Do I have the energy for this conflict? Sometimes that takes care of it. Because these are the questions that will help you decide which style you should use in each situation. Instead of just going in your dominant style, whichever that is. By the way, I didn't say it, I'm a shark. Okay? They're my sharks. So you see, I knew it, and you didn't want to sit in the front, look at you. So sometimes I have a tendency, that will be my style, but it may not always be appropriate. I need to think about, so sometimes it's all about the energy. And when I say energy, time. Do I have the time right now to address this? Should I just pull back? My calendar is too full with things that are perhaps a little more urgent. So think about, the resources or the money. Okay, so those are the questions that you want to think about. Are you aware of the potential consequences when you address this conflict? I'm going to give you an example in a minute of what can happen if I do. And then what can happen if I don't engage in the conflict. Sometimes that's worst. Are you ready for the consequences? I am aware of them, but am I ready? I'm not sure. Do I want to really tell my boss and tell them, I'm not satisfied, I want more money. And let's have a conversation about that. Because I feel, I'm creating conflict right here. This can be a confrontational situation, which is uncomfortable, right? So I could use all of that. So think about your conflict. I'm going to give you an easy one. I'm going to do one of mine, and let's see which style you think I should use. Okay? My conflict is, I am opening the door. It was really a deli. I opened the door. This is a real conflict. I opened the door of a deli, one of those delis that they have double doors. And the first door, there's somebody smoking in between both doors. Of a deli where you buy food. Okay. I am with my children with me. I open the door. Somebody's smoking. So what do? Do I say something? Do I not say something? Okay, we're going to decide what style am I going to use, and you're going to help me decide. But I'm going to give you information. How invested in the relationship are you? I did not know her at all. So I don't care about the relationship. I don't. I can speak my mind from that perspective because I do not care. How important is the issue to me? Really important. I am asthmatic. And I really, and even if I wasn't, I think I would take it very personal, but I take it very personal. And especially very important that my children are there. This is, in my mind, unacceptable. So you get it, right? I'm getting fired up. Okay. Do I have the energy for the conflict? Do you think I have the energy for the Okay, we all answer that together. I have the energy. But that answer could have been different for you. What if you were in that situation? So think about that, right? Your answers are not the same as mine. So we'll get to a different conclusion on what style we use. Are you aware of the potential consequences? Okay, so this is serious now because you see on TV all these things that happen when you approach people. So this is the one that might make me pull back, right? Okay, I don't know how the other person is going to react. I don't know if they're going to get so angry that they're going to hit me. There's so many things that can happen this day. Even in a controlled environment like our workspaces, you don't know. It happens. People sometimes, you don't know what's behind their mind, what they're going through. So definitely a pause on this one, right? Until now, I was going for it. I was eliminating the avoiding, and I was eliminating already the turtle and the teddy bear. I'm going more for the styles that are direct, which can be either or the other three, right? Well, I didn't mention all of them, so to your benefit, you don't know them necessarily all. But so I don't know that I'm ready for the potential consequences yet. I'm going to lean towards yes, though. Okay. I think she won't fight too hard. Are you ready? Fingers crossed. Are you ready? Am I ready? Well, I have my children with me, so this is one thing that is pulling me back now. What do I do? What are the consequences if I don't engage in the conflict? That kind of decides at that moment. What can happen? I walk through and I keep buying my things, and she continues smoking, and I don't change the world in one day. Woohoo, superwoman, right? And the world continues. Okay, so what style do I use? And there's no wrong, so you can say anything, but which one are you saying?
I say turtle.
Vanessa's saying turtle to avoid. So Vanessa's saying because of the last questions, change your mind and pull back. Okay, that's one option, and it's perfectly well. Any other options? I'm going to give you the answer of what I did, which is not right or wrong, it's just what I did. I went as a shark and I approached the person. But why did I do it? Because remember when we were talking about the consequences? There was another consequences in my mind that was more important. That is giving an example to my children of what's right and wrong. And I felt that if I don't teach them that it's okay to speak up when something is wrong, what lesson am I telling them? And this is the way I looked at it. People think about sharks and they think about, but if you speak with respect, you can be a perfect shark. So I thought, I will be a shark, but I will moderate how I deliver my message. And I did that. I approached the woman and I very kindly said, I am sorry, are you aware that you're not yet out of the store? And the smoke may come in and impact other people with words similar to that. She looked at me, she didn't fight, she just was quiet and put it down. I walked in the store, and the reason why I share this story is because about months later, my son was then 4 years old. We get out of the car to go to a restaurant, and right in the curve, in the corner, there's a 16-year-old. She couldn't be any older. I mean, she was like a kid, smoking. And my son gets out of the car. Well, I put him out of the car and tells the little girl, excuse me, do you know smoking is bad for you? And she literally almost cried. I was in tears by then. I was like, oh, what did I do? So to me, the consequence of that shark moment was really powerful because I wanted the consequence and it materialized later on. So I have taught them to speak up respectfully. So when you pick your style, but it's not the right one for you, you pick what's right for you. Just think about this framework always. And if you remember, and think about other people in your organization, your spouse, at home. This is for everything in life. What style would you use? And with that, thank you very much for taking a snippet of the program. Thank you.